How about 3.884, 329 miles an hour, and BT3 goes to the top.
Yeah, I think you've seen this car this year perform at a really high level with multiple number one qualifiers. When the tracks are really good, we've struggled a little bit with consistency, and what I like even more than the number one qualifier this weekend is we ran 390, 388, 390, and the car was absolutely dialed in. Pretty much ran to the 100th of what the crew chiefs wanted the car to run, and that was like the last little missing link of this team to go on a real run.
All right, joining us here in the media center here in Norwalk is your top field number one qualifier, Leah Pruett. Leah's run of 3.684 at 333 miles an hour from Friday held up, giving Leah her second straight number one and 15th in her career. And a bigger front, a big weekend of qualifying for Tony Stewart Racing. Tony qualifies one, Matt qualifies three, you qualify number one. So that's pretty good deal heading into Sunday, I would imagine, right?
Absolutely. I think with all the different variables that we've been given with weather and conditions, everyone's made the absolute most that they have, and it feels absolutely great. We've got Tony coming up for eliminations up here soon, but being number one is what Tony Stewart Racing is all about, and I'm glad that our top fuel team has been able to up our cadence and up our performance to keep up with what Tony and Hagen's team has been able to do.
Erica definitely tuned up the clutch foot after what happened in the first round of the Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. 6.593 for Matt Hartford.
That was huge for us. We have Rottler on board this weekend. We had him in Bristol as well. We didn't have a good showing there. They're here, so to come out here and put the car on the pole is it's a lot of momentum for us going into tomorrow. But really, it comes down to just a great team. My crew chief makes great calls. Adam and Eddie, they work so hard on this car constantly, and I got to send praise to Jerry Haas and everybody back at the Haas organization. They built such a great car. We definitely don't have the newest car out here, but it's a great car, and he's with us week in and week out, and it says a lot about the capability of the tubing he builds.
.103 60-foot for Gage. You were wrong. It's a 78, not a 79. 6.785, 198 for Gaige Herrera.
That was a big part. Overall that was a big part. After going red in Bristol and the red first round today and the mission challenge, definitely took the wind out of my sails a little bit, and to bounce back, and get a number one qualifier. Basically we're still holding that streak, so I'm happy with that overall for the whole team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to ask you about perhaps, it's kind of flipping it a little bit, but having a couple of stumbles finally in this season, does that maybe take a little bit of the pressure off, the perfection that you were achieving?
Oh, absolutely. I started off an incredible season. You can't ask for anything better, and so I knew there was going to be bumps in the road. I was kind of expecting it, and actually in Bristol I was telling her when I just wasn't feeling it, something was going to happen, and it did. And so I think we just come back and grow from it.
Antron's going nowhere. How about 3.684, 333 miles an hour, and put that green machine in the number one spot.
That was most definitely the most exciting part of our whole day, and I would say our whole last 2 weeks. I first want to give a big shout out to Joe and Dan at PBRC, Precision Built Race Cars, for getting our front half in. That wasn't scheduled. It was scheduled for after Norwalk and after Bristol. We decided that was the time, and they made it happen. And there's not a lot of room during the day and with the rain to straight line it and make sure. So coming around the corner, I'm like, all right, let's do this. And Neil's pretty good about, Neil Straussbaugh, kind of giving a target of what we're going to run, especially when we're later in the pack like that. And this time we really didn't know, because the track was so good, and Safety Safari NHRA Summit Raceway did an incredible job with the prep throughout the whole day, making sure that the track didn't go away. So Neil leans in and goes, it's gonna haul ass, don't pedal it. Because we talked about, I mean, with rain situations and a 20-car field, and you know what could happen potentially a Saturday. So you know, where's that threshold? And I was ready to go fast. And like I said last time when we were number one, it's one of my favorite things to do.
Dean Antonelli, it's going to be our final two funny cars. The worst Alexis can be is third. She's going to end up a little point here one way or another. 3.898, 331 miles an hour, put Ron Capps on top.
You know, back to staging lanes, getting in the car and watching all the scoreboards light up, and they got better and better. And then, you know, funny car is so talented right now; it's incredible. So you just, I saw Guido come back in the box a couple times, you know, and you sometimes you hear him on the radio talking. So I get an idea, you know, working on these cars. When I was younger, I kind of know what he's thinking, what he's doing, and that's kind of a cool thing sometimes. And I knew that he was going to get after it as soon as we saw a couple more 390 flats go up on the board. And Hagen and I were down there talking. I actually stopped seeing very well about 700 feet. So did Hagen. He said he couldn't see anything. Clutch dust got in there, and it gets a little dark right near the finish line, and it started getting off to the right, and I saw the wall, but I was like, man, this is running too good to let up. So, you know, something to be said about you turning this corner and how many fans stuck around after the rain. It's pretty cool. And so part of you is like, I'm not lifting, man. I want to go low ET for Guido and the guys, and so that was huge.
Competition Plus is your go-to source for the latest in drag racing news. For over 20 years, CompetitionPlus.com has provided news you can trust, thoroughly researched and delivered as quick and fast as it can be uploaded. Whether it's nitro or stock, drag radial or pro modified, our writers are trained to bring you the inside story time and time again. We have it all from in-depth news articles to the latest in high-performance products to the scuttlebutt making its way around the pits. Original video content from the stars in drag racing also makes CompetitionPlus.com the ultimate one-stop shop for die-hard drag racing fans. Don't make CompetitionPlus.com your only stop on the information superhighway. Make it your first. For news you can trust and have trusted for 20 years, visit CompetitionPlus.com. Be sure to download our mobile app. It's a free download on the Apple Store and Google Play.